Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I can pretty much guarantee we're not finishing today, so with that particular weight off my back, let's do a bit of MSQ.
Yet another of your horde's savages to bark at the recruits.
Remember, the HVA is all, and knows all, and sees all. Hi, Smearstar. Hi, Kenexcow. Hey, Talia. Hey, Maverick. Hi, Bragwin.
Thrumka!
Greetings, Outlander.
Someone save me from all this bickering. Alliance, this, horde, that. I've never encountered anything like it in my thousands of years, even amongst the Oathsworn and the Unbound. If they committed half the energy they expend on posturing towards training, our task would be complete by now. See what help you can offer my people. They need real mentorship if we're to be ready for the next Nerubian offensive.
Forge your own path.
Is this what we'd rely on to help us defeat Zealoteth? The Unbound define themselves by their desertion, and the Oathsworn for being made of stone are pretty soft. City life hasn't done them any favors. We've got work to do. Get down there, give these Earthmen a taste of what it's like to face a real threat. Try not to knock any offline, but a maiming here or two would send a strong message to the rest.
May your enemies grovel before you!
While some of these recruits struggle with discipline, most have a strong work ethic. They need only training and the equipment to make the most of it. Earthen weaponsmiths and armorers have been working around the clock to equip this fledgling army. We could use some help getting these Normans to the hands of the trainees. Cool shield, not gonna lie. I even like this axe I'm currently wielding. Good afternoon, Papaneeks.
The Alliance...
You're in luck, Exarch. You get to see how the Horde gets things done.
Training means more than beating your recruits senseless, Orc.
Contradiction, Spider-Man 2, Hatch Within. You got it. Thank you, Papaneeks, as always. I'm gonna leave these two idiots. No, Papaneeks. And I never will. Or maybe later. I don't know. Yeah. Ugh, is exactly my reaction to that. Like to a T. Spear wielder. Okay. Hammer and shield. Spear again. Not spears. Hammer and shield again. Crossbow. Lumberjack. Axe. Hammer and shield. Hammer and shield again. Axe. Hammer and shield. A lot of hammer and shields. It's not that I mind these outsiders are sitting up on this stretch of strand. The Earthen need their help, that's for certain, so I respect their position. I just wish they hadn't scared off my Gorlock friends and our crabs. Only faithful Giswig stays with me. I just hope the others return when the warring is done. We'll never bring war to someone's shores. We've never done that before. Ever. 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 Also, actually, I feel like that's deliberate. Look at the framing of that shot. Like, look at how you'd see them. Horde ships, Alliance ships. Like, look at that. Anyways. Or the Azeroth. Couple soldiers down here. One or two. Lysander and Arkanaran are both here. Delis is here. Thistily is here. None of them are saying anything. They're just here. Overspark is still here, along with his faithful assistant. Spark Nozzle. That actually sounds familiar. Tread Spark Nozzle. Is he in Doom Rogue? I do too, as Miristar. In addition to the fact that it kind of encourages people to do heritage quests, it's also a way to reward people for doing heritage quests. You know, follow through on that. I do like how multiracial this is. That is a great variance. Also, there's Captain Garrick and her son. I'll see you soon, Captain. Here, we got Volt from the Gap Squad. Of course, he's teaching shooting. That makes sense. Core Dawn Chaser is here beating people up as a monk. Desco. Oh my god, Desco. I barely recognized you. He's still got the shoulders. Hammer and Shield looks Emerald Dreamy. Actually, no, that looks Warlords. That looks Dragonflight. Liadrin, and Salandria, of course. Shuja, I don't recognize that one actually. Brekka's out here though. Just fueling. Heh! A pony, there's a name I haven't seen in forever. And Tahu. Once again, multiracial, multi-species army. Very mixed arms. Urizen, kind of walking over the group here. And Belmont, Villanara, and I don't recognize who this lady is. Anyone recognize her? Nah. Yeah, I was to say, Epony was in Legion. I think that is the most recent we've seen her. I could be wrong. I don't have the wiki in front of me. Yeah, I barely recognize Desco, despite the name. He looks pretty different. Which is funny, because he doesn't look that different.
Meddling Titans. Do the Alliance and Horde always bicker like this?
No, it's usually worse.
My faith is my shield.
Now they're starting to look like a real army. We'll continue their training, but I believe you have more important matters to attend to. As it happens, I do. Getting gold.
Have courage, no matter what.
They lit a fire down there, and will continue to fan the flames. Go now, secure the knowledge you have helped these Earthen on the path to glory. The Nerubian won't know what hit them.
Go with honor.
You've already done us a great service. We will carry on the example you have set. You should return to Dar Oztan, see the new Stormriders you've recruited. They will undoubtedly benefit from the same diligence you have shown here. And you can get away from these two and their posturing. I envy you.
Do you see the strength of the Horde, Exarch?
I see more than you know.
Go, champion. Spare yourself.
Also, can I just say that choosing these two is an interesting choice, because Gera is probably the most Garashian of the surviving Horde leaders. And Turellian, he's been pretty chill, but he's probably the one most inclined towards dipping into true zealotry, even though he hasn't. And I honestly hope he never does. I mean, dude literally fought in the Second War.
You're back.
And Kurdran is here with the Wildhammers now, too.
There you are, Kurdran. I was wondering where you were.
Have need of a storm rook?
Kurdran Wildhammers come to train the new Storm Riders in aerial maneuvers. Thrall says his clan rides Griffin, much like the Storm Riders ride Stormbrooks, so he should be of great help to us. Unfortunately, a few of our recruits seem to have wandered off with their Stormbrooks. I wanted them to have a chance to bond, but it's time to come home. Would you mind rounding them up? Thrall and I are putting something together special for the rookies. Get it? Because they're anyways.
Unfortunately, a few of our new recruits have wandered off with their rooks. I wanted them to have a chance to bond, but it's probably time to round them up. I would have asked Olberig, but he has wandered off too.
I mean, yeah, of course the Wildhammers are here. Why wouldn't they be?
A magical city traveling the world. Just think of all the places it saw before it fell here.
What's really funny is Dalaran didn't take off until extremely recently, historically speaking. Wrath was the first time they did that. That being said, it did roam a bit before then. Or rather, excuse me, after then.
Conversation initiated. Apologies. We seem to both enjoy exploring. Let's go, Traumer.
Well, we know it made the trip back from Northrend the old-fashioned way. It hit the Broken Isles via teleportation, because they were in a bit of a hurry. And it came here via teleporting, too.
Then it better be a vittler with a ready drink. Conversation initiated. Fly high, strike true. It seems our absence has been felt, Fawa. Best not to keep our admirers waiting any longer.
I already like him. My hammer likes him, too. Let me introduce you to.
That appears to be the last of them, for now. But we should stay vigilant, Vatar. Fly high, strike true. Yes, of course. The mission must always come first. Up, boy! Let's fly!
I'm sorry, Lucilla. We cannot wait for this Ulberig any longer.
It'd take a hand's worth of these hill dwarves to bring one from the Airy down.
Right then, good on you for rounding everyone up. We're looking to start formal flat training. Wouldn't want any stragglers, would we? I'm eager to see what the Stormbrooks and Earthen can do.
The Council of Three Hammers requires me presence, but I'd rather be riding me griffin.
That's all the recruits are present. It's high time we took to the air. So what did there? High time? No? Right then, we'll be putting these rookies through their paces, starting with the basics of aerial maneuvering at speed. We'll do our best to simulate the kind of precision flying we might expect on the low to the ground. After that, we'll see what these rooks can really do. And Thrall and Lufsel have something special cooking.
Just like we practiced, Lucilla. The storm is your ally.
Olberig, where are you? We need you. Initiating!
Well done. The storm has granted the rooks its strength.
Right then, let's get these birds in the air and see what they can do.
Outlander, please take Shroudbendry up. I'd like to stay in case Olberig returns.
Okay. I like how you can actually do this or not do this, depending. We're gonna do this, of course. What do you take me for?
Let's start by swinging out over the ruins of Dalaran.
I believe this is one of the first times a dragon riding race is part of the MSQ, too.
Come back down.
I wish I could have seen it whole. Such a wonder, such a loss.
We'll do a circuit of the bay. The water ought to make for a softer landing, just in case one of you takes a dive.
Yes, but then we would be wet. Think of our clothing, man.
Fly as low as you can. Imagine a cave roof full of stalactites over your head.
Let's not talk about caves. My former directive was mining. I've had enough stalactites, thanks.
Lufcella sure gave your rooks some depth. Whew, they don't seem to be tiring at all.
Fawa and I would like a rest cycle after this, just the same.
You're doing great for a bunch of rookies. I think we can move on to lesson 2. But first, let's buzz the ground troops down on the beach and give old Taralian a scare.
Wrong hill. Wrong hill. Oh, he's not reacting. Ah, well, whatever.
Set her down easy. We're just getting warmed up.
Ah, a wee bit stuffy in here, isn't it?
Ah, there you have
Oh,
it.
I miss the open skies of the hinterlands.
Raw recruits made of stone, storing the backs of birds made of lightning. Proof that old Codrin can teach anything to fly. But I'm not done yet.
The Council of Three Hammers
I
requires...
think I had no notice those rooks spitting
But
lightning.
I'd rather be riding me griffin.
Sure beats tossing hammers, but it won't mean nothing if the Storm Riders can't hit with their fight. Let's test their aim. Got some gnomish contraptions here that'll protect easy targets for practice. Take Shraubindre out. Show him how it's done.
Take Shroudbender back out there and blast some targets.
Once again, you could do it or not.
But how?
Urge your rook upward. They discharge as they gain altitude.
This would make for quite the show. Anyone fancy putting together an aerial act?
Only if it's an act of war.
I don't know. Blue Angels for the Storm Riders? I could see it.
Looks like you can handle hitting stationary targets. Let's see how you do with a moving one.
Use Whirling Surge to heal. That's odd. That implies I would need to heal at some point. Yeah, but I don't know if you caught that. The boost up suddenly has an attack. The dash down is a bubble, and the whirl is a heal. That's an interesting and kind of cool development of the dragon flying abilities. Yes, Guild Wars 2 is a better game than WoW in every way. Okay, you win. But no, you are right. Not about Guild Wars 2 being better. That's ridiculous. No, but like, WoW. A lot of people riff on Blizzard for taking ideas from other games. How many of you, if Spartan was here, you could talk about this. How many of you have ever had to deal with grading papers, like at a school. I've only done this on a very small scale, so I'm mostly speaking from second and third hand experience here. But let's say that Giga takes the Wikipedia article, copy-pastes it, and turns that in. I look at Giga and I say, well, F minus minus. Blunk, you failed. Because all you didn't do, you, Giga Pudding, didn't do anything. You didn't think about it, you didn't process it, you didn't apply it to whatever the task is. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say as Mira Star read the same Wikipedia article and then thought about it, and was like, okay, and then re-presented the information in the article in her own words, thoughts, and with her own conclusion at the end of it. As Mira Star, let's assume she did a good job, gets an A. Why? Because she did something. A lot of people have this weird mentality that taking from other things is automatically bad because of things like straight plagiarism, straight copying, and plenty of people, games, shows, movies, books, everything, music, do that. The thing is, we all do that. We all do that to some extent or another. There's not really a lot that's new under the sun, right? Like there's this... Everything we're doing is developments of previous things, which are developments of previous things. Every now and again something new shows up and spins the pot, but otherwise it's the same general concepts. It's all about what you do with it, though, and something that Blizzard has been good at for certain points of its history is taking ideas from something else and saying, that's a good idea, and developing it. I know I've said this several times, but it bears repeating, because Dragonflying itself is probably one of the best examples of that. Exactly, Talia. Dragonflying is not innovative. It's in fact kind of old, relatively speaking, compared to flying things. Frankly, Aeon, I think it was, Aeon Online, was probably one of the first innovators of actually having that kind of a flight system in a game. It also sucked in that game, but yeah, that's what you get for being the first. And Guild Wars 2 does its own thing, and I do like flying in Guild Wars 2. But WoW took the idea and said, okay, and did something with it, developed it into its own format, and does its own spin on the thing. It iterates on the concept. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 flying is actually really limiting. A lot of people aren't super aware of that. Like, imagine this. Okay, and I've run out of stamina, so I'm going to go down for a bit, and then I'm going to cling to the wall. I'm going to use an ability I got, chkunk. Okay, and that ability gives me my stamina back. And then I hop back up, and I go up here, and then I wait for my stamina to come back. Then I hop up here, and then I kind of downward arced so my stamina restores as I'm going and kind of gliding over here. Now that works for Guild Wars 2 because the terrain design is built around it, and that's what the game is built around and has been since Heart of Fire. But, or Path of Fire, excuse me, Heart of Stone's Path of Fire. But you can see how that's really very different from what we've got going on here. This, honestly, as much as we all compare this to Guild Wars 2, you know what this really is? This is the cape from Mario World. I am not joking. Anybody who's played Mario World knows what I mean. But if you have played Mario World... Shut up! If you played Mario World well, you know exactly what I mean. You can kind of just retain more or less infinitely as long as you're on a downward incline. But... And just like in Mario World, there's a skill to doing it efficiently to maintain your stamina. Here we actually have a stamina bar. In Mario World, it's just how much you retain your vertical height. Because you can fly infinitely in Mario World if you do it right. If you don't, you're kind of doing this thing, where you kind of go down and go... And you just kind of slowly lose height over time. And anybody who's done dragonflying when you're first starting out, or they're not very good at it, or, you know, you're just not really used to it yet, it's the same general concept, isn't it? And that works very well for what WoW's going for. The speed helps because WoW's zones are gargantuan. So it helps when you can go from point A to point B in 30 seconds because you're going 160 miles an hour. I know, Maverick.
It'd take a hand's worth of these hill dwarves to bring one from the Airy down.
I'm not actually sure, Kraken-san. Because my personal add-on doesn't track that. I actually have a separate add-on, which tracks it in yards per second. But I'm not sure, like, I don't have that add-on right now. Yeah, and then there's FF14, which just says teleport. And that makes sense. In FF14, it's mostly about the placement of the teleport crystals, and they're pretty particular about that. FF14, I don't mean this as a negative, is a lot more cloistered about where they want you to access. WoW wants you to access a zone. They want you to explore. They want you to find hidden things. They want you to just fly around and enjoy. FF14 wants you to be on a guided line of what you can access at a given point in time based on where you're at in the story. So it makes sense that you're limited to teleporting where you've already been, which is places you can't even access unless you've done the story that essentially teleports you to the new zone. Yeah, exactly, Bragwin. So, once again, FF14, Guild Wars 2, and WoW all approach traversal completely differently because the games are completely different. That makes sense. I'm getting way off topic. I apologize.
A wee bit stuffy in here, isn't it?
These recruits seem to be
Oh,
up for a
miss the open
challenge.
skies of the hinterland.
Shut up. Let's find something with a little bite. It's not poor giant just off the shore being pestered by a swarm of flying devils. Let's see if these rooks could shoot off the wings of them. Provide some relief.
Right then, let's hunt those beasties.
No, actually, Papa Neeves. I hope they take... Right, I need to be on. I hope they take this and run with this. This is my opinion, based on a lot of experience, but if you pay attention, there's a whole lot of them trying ideas all over the place, and usually in quests, and occasionally those ideas stick, and then they develop them more in the future. I am hopeful that this whole flying combat thing is them trying something out, and that we'll develop this more in the future. Per the way time cycles or development cycles, we probably won't find out about that until the last patch of War Within or the launch of Midnight. Because, yeah, the fact that we gain honest-to-goodness abilities like an attack, a bubble, and a heal while flying, that's really cool. Can't see him yet, and I'm blasting him. There we go.
Send them down to the deeps, lads and lasses!
Lads, lasses, we are thousands of years old.
Are you, though? Is Retro Justice thousands of years old?
That matters, but experience.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, since I've landed, thank you, Retro Justice. Always appreciate you. Give me... Oh, no, they found me! I don't know how, but they found me! Oh, jeez.
Well done, everyone! I think it's time we gave your storm rooks a breather. Champion, I think I saw the old Storm Rider Ulbarig while I was flying by the meadery. Ye might check on him while I take the flock home to roost.
So FF7R1, the WoW Pact Within, and Comparison Block for 4. You got it. Ah! 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 Ah!
I came to see where Baelgrim fell. Didn't expect to find the ones responsible. State your business.
Training went well, did it? Sorry I wasn't there for it. There was just something I had to do.
May the path you...
Please excuse my absence. It was never my intention to turn my back on the Storm Riders, then or now. But I needed to come here and pay my respects to Baelgrim. Unfortunately, these blasted Nerubians are still lingering. I think they're searching for something, but I don't know what. For the reasons, I cannot abide them lurking where Baelgrim fell.
Honor the Titans. How often did we have the same argument about our storm rooks, Baelgrim? And how often did that blasted Titan machine wipe away the memory of it?
Damn the Titans. I kind of hope that becomes a thing in The Last Titan. Like a rallying cry. Damn the Titans. What's funny is, for as much disdain as I spit at the Primalists, it's kind of easy to see the general idea of where they're coming from. As I've pointed out, I'm not particularly pro-Titan. Not really. If we can get Tyr to say that. Yeah, Razageth is spinning in her grave. It's her fault, I'm sorry. She was such a twit. I don't feel bad about killing you, Razageth. Or your brother.
It's Zarine. Balgrim Stormrook. Zarine. You stayed, even with Balgrim gone. But you're free now. Go. Fly. What do you want?
Ah, this is a gift. Balgrim may be gone, but his Stormrook seem ready to carry on his fight. It's been a long time since I felt such a connection, such purpose. I don't intend to turn my back a second time.
May the path you forge be...
Merrick's and Edelgon will be expecting an update. On my way here, I heard they're heading towards the Proscenium to commit to the war officially. You should go and brief them on the readiness of the Storm Riders.
Honor the Titans. I see now. We were both right, Balgrim. Stormrooks can be free, but choose to serve. Would you fly with me? Thank you, Zarine. We will honor Balgrim together.
More than a few, Trihexia. And funnily enough, every side we've backed has won. Huh. That's another thing. I've said this many times. The WoW devs play FF14. They've been more open about that in recent times. You can't tell me they're not taking
The charged
notes.
silt from these clashing elementals are packed with heat.
Like, you can't. Again, taking something and adapting it, iterating it. That's kind of their shtick.
Oathsworn, unbound. It is time for us to come together as one.
Can I just say, I love this. Especially since, if you're paying attention, this was foreshadowed.
I bid you welcome. So, we are in agreement?
Yes, we must assist our new allies. And to do that, we must renounce the edicts forever.
It is fitting, then, that we do so here, where it all began, where the edicts were written. Who would like to do the honors? I, the Council Ward of Dornogal, declare that we are all unbound.
You don't recognize that. We've seen those before. Those are Titan War Mechs. We fought one.
I serve the Titans.
So if you remember,
unswervingly.
way back in one of the side quests, there was a tiny reference to a backup plan. I forget how they phrased it, but it was like, we have the edicts in place, and in case everything goes wrong, you know, we've got the backup plan. Then, if you do the weekly thing with the archives, one of the last ones, Arcades mentions that, you know, now that we've put the edicts in place to keep them all loosed, or not loosed, chained, We also have the backup plan, the final thing just in case the Earthen finally slip loose of their control. That's it. 2 tiny little bits of foreshadowing, but they're both there.
Go where the edicts
So the Titans sent their ancient machines against their disobedient children. Would our creators have us protect the Corway at the expense of all else? At the expense of Azeroth herself? Are we meant to preside over a road untraveled leading to the world's dead heart? No. Today we are all unbound, and we will fight for our freedom.
The eternal
I will go ahead and see if I can slow it down.
Outlander, take Shroudbendry. She trusts you. And I trust you to keep the Storm Riders safe from the Titan's machines.
Interestingly enough, though this is debatable, I personally think that if we weren't here, that is to say, all of us, this thing would just run over the Earthen. That would be the end of it. In fact, that's probably what was intended. Once again, by the way, optional. But we were here. And notice that this is a victory lap quest. Did you catch that? Listen to the music.
Remember your training, Catilda.
That won't be hard considering how recent it was.
Look at the size of that thing.
Aren't you supposed to be the stalwart one? Now I'm nervous.
Notice Proudmoore has successfully frost-novaed it. Yeah, we pissed off Emerald Weapon. That's pretty much exactly what we did. I love the tone here. I really do. This could have been a big doomy thing. They could have tried to play into the drama of the moment, been like, oh, no, the Titans are here to kill us all. No, instead, this is a triumphant rejoinder. Like I said, this is a victory lap. We've already done it. At this point, functionally.
Room in these skies for one more.
Olberig is back, and he has a rook.
Zarine and I are ready to finish what Baelgrim started.
Knowing the Titans, at least a few. Yeah, this is sealing the deal. That's a good way to put that, Talia. I like that. I'm now going to plagiarize you. Guys, I have a great phrase for this. It's called sealing the deal.
Task complete. We did it.
And in style, too.
We have made the Isle safe.
Good work, Storm Riders. Take a victory lap and let our people know their shores are safe again.
I was going to say, this thing is probably great salvage. Like, that is a Titan war mech. Can we go, like, pry that thing apart? Even just the raw materials it's made of are probably extremely valuable. And yeah, we literally have to go take a victory lap. No, I love this quest. Oh, I love War Within so freaking much. Sorry. Oh, the Earthen are not particularly wasteful people, yeah.
Don't assume victory.
Well, it was a trial by fire, but you've proven the Earthen of Isledorn are ready for the war to come. Where once there was discord, there's now unity of purpose. They're no longer oathsworn or unbound, they are united. Just as we should be. Lady, we've been united for years at this point.
No, it seems the Storm Riders have proven themselves once more. As have you, champion.
One sec. Let me jot down some notes really quick. Goodness. I didn't pick it up yet, Papa Neeks. We'll go do it later. We'll get there.
Do you have an... I see Zorine has returned. Does he bring our new Stormward with him?
No. Our new Stormward has been right here all along. Lufcella has done what Baelgrim and I failed to do for thousands of years. She's brought the Stormrooks to Wing as equal partners, with compassion and understanding.
Quite so. But will she accept the burden of becoming Stormward, Lufcella?
If it means keeping the Stormrooks and their riders safe, then yes. Without hesitation.
Danger lurks.
The Widow Arachni sent word via one of those weave rats of hers. She has a lead that may be relevant to our cause and has invited us to investigate. All the training in the world is useless without knowledge of the enemy. My own reconnaissance efforts in Ashket were met with mixed results, as you may recall. I admit I'm not keen on venturing down there so soon. Fortunately, reinforcements have arrived with a capable spy master. Unfortunately, she's... well, you'll see.
Find the path to victory.
I hear you need some eyes in the dark, Windrunner.
Hello, Lillian.
The Weaver has a lead that may be relevant to our cause. I would follow it myself, but...
You're busy. I get it. Just stay out of my way. Champion, meet me at the Weaver's lair.
Do it, Mr. Red. Go get sweets. It's probably better sweets and cheaper than ordering online. I agree, by the way, Kraken Son. It's something WoW has gotten better about lately. Instead of us showing around fixing things for people, a lot of the more modern WoW stuff has been us helping people fix things for themselves. We got their backs, don't mistake me, but like, if you think about it, a lot of the previous expansions were, you know, us being the central force. I get the desire to do that, especially from a gameplay perspective. But it's nice to see us helping the area rather than being a crutch for an area. So I remember this particular quest chain very well.
This is your backup? Interesting. We meet again.
Who are you? Oh, come now. I've been around. Don't you recognize me? I've had some work done. It took a while to infiltrate the right circles, but eventually they were assured of my loyalty and let me ascend. A mistake on their part, of course. So what's it feel like? It's different, but not how you might expect. New doors are open, but other familiar ones are closed. It's difficult to explain to a non-Nerubian.
May your threads hold strong.
This place reminds me of home. It's not necessarily a good thing.
There is much to be done.
As I was telling your surly little spy master, I expect this to be a mutually beneficial undertaking. We shall both walk out of it with the information we need.
Our threads will.
I have eyes in every crevice of the city save one that has eluded me. The Transformatory is the grounds of Ansarek's most precocious minions and treasured pets. It's where the ascension process was developed. I've only gotten my claws in it recently, thanks to my dear Yuteki. Much of it remains uncomfortably shrouded. A more legs-on approach is in order. Place shadecasters to collect intel from my scouts. Then meet Yuteki and your own spymaster in a discreet corner of the district.
The transformatory was a blind spot for me, until Yuteki breached it and achieved ascension. Mistress, you flatter me. Scout for troubling movement in the area, then rendezvous and prepare to infiltrate.
I admit I've liked Lillian since Cataclysm. But yeah, she really starts to shine in more recent stuff. Forsaken Heritage Quest, the Reclamation of Lordaeron, the Reclamation of Gilneas, and here. I won't say more, but let's just say that we're going to get some more positives in a second. For the record, no, these don't count as zone positives. This is roaming MSQ at this point, so this isn't zone stuff. God, look at that. Whoops. Nothing in WoW triggers my arachnophobia. I can actually explain specifically why, though.
Gathering supplies? Marching out? I've heard nothing of this. Make no mistake, this is preparation for war, and none thought to inform me. This bodes ill indeed.
Yep, it's the movement. I've actually had some time in my career, because spiders are such a common thing in fiction, to study arachnophobia and how fiction uses spiders. And yeah, the overwhelming majority of animators in games, shows, and movies, they don't animate them like spiders. So it doesn't trigger. Like, you see a giant furry spider, but then it goes chunk, 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 and then you're like, oh, okay, it's a crab. Like, it doesn't trigger the same. Actually, I did know that, Gowry. I am very curious to how that's going to go.
Smuggling is common enough in the city, but from the maddening deep, unusual and concerning. I need to know where they're taking that bile, why, and for whom.
I've heard from several people that the 3 rep spiders do. They actually don't for me. I just don't like them. Like, why would I seek out a spider mount? Most people are bothered by how they die, which is probably the most well-animated portion of it, which makes sense. One thing I'm curious about, we know that Season of Discovery is functionally being treated as canon, right? In other words, this is the stuff that always happened in vanilla that you never saw because vanilla was 20 years ago and we had no idea what we were doing. In other words, the party members are probably the actual people, you know, the adventurers are probably the actual people who killed Lillian. But not the Kata adventurers. Remember, we are a freshly raised undead when we first meet Lillian in the Undead Starter Zone in Tearsfall. In Death Knell, actually. Interesting food for thought. It means one of her fellow Forsaken reached out to her, while several of the other adventurers are the ones who killed her.
Do you see that? Nothing. Decidedly odd for the City of Threats. The freshly ascended are usually flitting about the Umbral Bazaar. Where have they gone?
They made it. Color me impressed.
Don't get too comfortable. We've got a long mission ahead of us.
You know what? I kind of want my mace back. Hang on. This axe is nice, but
Munchies, crunchies, lucky doos and root. Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
There we go. Much better.
My blades stay sharp.
For the record, I'm always in favor of an arachnophobia mode. With the exception of Monster Hunter, which, yeah, that makes sense. In almost every game case, there's no real reason not to have an arachnophobia mode. Because it really is just changing which model and mesh is painted onto an enemy. It doesn't change their abilities, or their movesets, or their hitboxes, or anything, right? I like the sound of those reports. Looks like whatever they're cooking is coming to a head, right in time for us to walk in. Don't worry, I'll let you know if we get in too deep.
Keep your guard up.
I've identified 3 sites of interest to investigate. A stockpile to the east side of the complex, a warehouse in the center, and a big storehouse with Royal Sureki flags outside. We'll rendezvous there. There's less chance of discovery if we move separately through the area. You may be hidden from most Nerubians, but the Ascended will sniff you out. Check some of these anger pheromones if them. You'll distract them. Stay sharp, stay quiet.
Do not linger.
Look what the weave brought. Weave protect you.
As much as I adore skulking in the shadows, the juiciest intel is going to be inside the laboratory of the Grand Splicer. Of course, you'll need proper pheromones once you're in, but we can take care of that with a little biological forgery. The Nerubian loyalists are surely on the invite list. 6 of their secretions should be enough to disguise the 3 of us.
Kahet is Korvan.
If those Ascended guards get close, hit them with one of these vials. It'll provide a distraction.
They don't look tough. I'm sure you'll be fine. Enjoy slinking around. I'll be walking right in.
Interesting. Oh, nice, Magister. That sounds like fun. I'll be doing a completely unmodded run, too, when I do my review. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to that, though. Oh, someone broke the bot. Trihexia, you broke the bot. Oh, God, you broke the flight, too. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. There we go. Bot's back in. Which one's Nazik? Oh, the Vizier. Yeah. I have to admit, I'm a huge fan of the Weaver. But the Vizier is also fantastic. Nizrek, whatever. The Vizier. Excuse me. What? Why do you attack me? Nothing personal. I need your pheromones. What? Ugh. This is a lot of black blood in here.
Ugh. Black blood. Don't touch that stuff. I'm not surprised we found some here, but I don't like that they're moving it around.
Well, from the way they tell it, all the black blood that's here was left over from when the old gods died, either to us or to, you know, the Titan, Amanthul. And it's just been sitting there dormant until someone stabbed the planet with a giant sword. I'm not naming names on who did that. So here's some freshly ascended. They don't look good. In fact, they look terrible. They're barely even aware that I'm here.
Blood! It's in my blood!
Yeah, that's what Ascension is. Oh, I guess we're just finding this out for the first time.
Fresh from the transformatory and still dripping with ichor. They're shipping these Ascended to the front before they've got their wits about them.
Yeah, so this is what Ascended Nerubians are. Absolutely glutted with blood, infused into them via alchemy and magic. When I say blood, I mean old god blood. Black blood. Gross. And then there's that. The first Ascended.
This changes the situation. I don't like the look of that huge thing.
It's an added bit of intrigue, that's for sure. Who's keeping it bound, and why?
And if it's not obvious, yes, that is the super mutant look that we saw Zekfir, as well as several of the other. So, this is the first Ascended, but they later tried to replicate this process with very little success until they finally came up with one successful version of this super variant, which was Zekfir. Zekfir is extremely powerful, even in lore. It's why he was such an issue in Season 1, and why taking him down was actually a plot thread, not just a gameplay conceit. They tried several times to replicate that and make a second Zekfir, but they never succeeded. And they never even, to my knowledge, they never even figured out why. Like, they didn't know what the problem was, why they could never replicate the success.
Don't panic, it's just me.
If you saw me? No, you didn't.
We've protect you.
Anyway, I was waiting for when we'd stumble upon real intrigue.
May your threads hold strong.
And then figure out what the Nerubians were up to. I don't think I like the answer.
There is much to be...
We've got a new objective. Figure out what Ansaric's plan are for this thing. We'll find our answers inside the laboratory of the Grand Splicer. I put my blades on it. I scattered a maintenance hatch up on the roof that you can grapple to. Yateki brewed up some weird concoction they claim will get us proper clearance. Yuck. Meet you there.
Do not linger.
One spritz of this, and no one will question that you belong in the transformatory.
Actually, I was going to say the same thing, Klaus. These things look like artificial Cathraxi. And considering how rare and... not counting BFA... how rare and powerful Cathraxi are...
We're in. Now let's get what we came for and get out before we're caught.
My dear Lillian, where's the fun in that?
So does that wall look familiar to anybody? It should. How many of you have been missing the vignette for this particular expansion? So let's get a nice close-up shot of this before we do anything else. This is some fantastic visual storytelling. Big, multi-eyed, multi-tentacled monster thing using a giant artifact to express its will on all kinds of Naraki. And a whole bunch of Nerubians kind of being, like, oppressed and enslaved by the Naraki. Yeah. Says a lot about the Nerubians that they not only made sure that this was a giant carved-in-stone mural, but also given what a negative light they show the old gods in. That by itself says so much. Oh yeah, also they were mind-controlled into being fed into an old god's mouth. Sorry, I forgot to mention that little detail. That is a good question. Just try. This also completely tracks with how we know the old gods treated any race. Any of the mortal races. They were nothing more than fodder, and in some cases, literally food. And that's it. Yeah, for whatever bad things that the Titans have done over the years, they're better than that.
This is a dangerously unstable formulation. Intriguing.
Wonder if that's what they've been feeding the monstrosity outside.
Our experiments are not for overcrawler eyes. Our experiments are not for overcrawler eyes.
This experiment dates back to Neferis's reign? Ansrek's been stewing on this a long time.
Nefer who?
Our dear departed queen. I wonder if the Weaver knew about this.
So, you asked about that vignette.
Slender is the strand that guides our destiny, known only by true sacrifice. In our kingdom of Ashkahet, no one understood this sacrifice more than Queen Neferis, my mother. I saw this when the Black Empire came to conscript us for their last stand at Nylofa. My mother refused them.
For this treachery, your line will sever itself. This kingdom will wither with the waning of your worth.
Her strength defined us that day. And in that moment, we felt destined for greatness. But in the years that followed, our greatness was tarnished. Look at them out there. Wretched, starving.
I am not immune to our people's suffering. I believe better days will come.
Not if you keep failing to seize the moment. What was the point of you freeing our future, only to leave us buried in the past?
You comprehend so little. There is much for you to learn before you can be queen.
Mother! Mother!
Ansarek? Are you seeing this?
You have heard my voice in your dreams, Great Queen.
harbinger.
Yes, of the empire that was. But the old gods are dead. The empire lies in ashes, and a shadow has fallen on your kingdom. But the blood of the old gods can make your people powerful again. Your reign could last for eternity. All you have to do is take my hand.
Your words are tempting, but the cost is too great. I would never risk my kingdom for such power.
Mother, who are you talking to?
Oh, ghosts, dearest. As always, they are my ready counsel.
I'm not sorry for what I said. I only want our people to be great once more.
Greatness is fleeting. What we must do now is endure. Your time will come, child, but only when you are ready. What have you done?
You're not the only one seeing ghosts, Mother.
How sad to have a queen so wise, and yet so ignorant to the call of destiny.
You. Her name is Zalatath. You had your chance, Mother. With this power, Ashkahet is unbound. We will rise. We will conquer. And together, we will finally claim our destiny.
Long live Queen Ansrak.
Thing is Nephros. Yateki, we should assess our options.
We go to her now.
By the way, I don't think this is ever confirmed one way or the other. But one tiny little thing I love is the implication that that most recent attempt to get Ashkahet into the fold was done relatively very recently, during BFA. There's another option there. It could have been a much, much, much longer ago, but it makes more sense to me that it was that recent. That would still put it at 7 to 9 years ago, I'd say. And yeah, that would mean Ansarek is quite young. It would also kind of line up with the relative approach Nephros has used. And yeah, I don't know how she presumes, oh, hey, but yeah, whatever. Just gonna let that go. Hey, little Billy. Yeah, baby Ansarek, who also ascended. I'm sure you noticed that. This is why the Void tends to succeed. No, really. No, Pillars of Snow. When she said no to the Naraki that came asking for help to defend Nyalotha, there's only two options for when that happens. Either a bagrillion years ago, or much, much more recently, again, during BFA. Those are, so there's about a, I don't know, 13,000 year gap there. But I like to think that Ansarek and Nephros are not 13,000 years old. Kirby block 1. Kirby block 2. Gotta be block 3. Yeah, no. Ansarek is a pawn. Not in the chess sense. Because, you know, anybody who actually knows chess knows that pawns are really useful in chess. No, she's a throwaway. She's always been a throwaway. I guarantee you that someone like Illyria would be someone far more valued to Xalatath.
What is it you ask?
That wasn't what I expected to find out. Family drama aside, whatever the old queen used to be, she's a big problem for us when she inevitably shows up on the battlefield.
Keep your guard up.
Yeah, actually, cannon fodder meat shield. Think about how Xalatath has been approaching pretty much everyone that she's influenced up till now. All of them have been accomplishing the same overall goal. Being a giant, obvious threat that we have to go deal with while she's doing whatever she's working on. Whatever she's actually working on. That's the consistent thread. And honestly, despite being the big bad of the launch, I think Ansarek is exactly in the same boat. Big, obvious threat. Go deal with it.
Look what the weave brought.
Ansarek, that worm, that witless, gutless little... This is what has become of Nephros. We must free her. She's still our queen. My mistress will know what to do. When the Weaver discovers what we've done, there will not be a crevice deep enough to escape her wrath.
Kahet is Korvan.
We should be careful. We don't know what that thing can do.
That thing is my queen. I will not leave her chained.
Interesting that Nephros had this much loyalty, by the way. We see this is a recurring thread. No pun intended. We see several people who
Bring me whatever bile they have lying around. I'll melt her chains myself if I have to.
This is a recurring thing throughout most of War Within. Also, yeah, this is weird seeing this level of care from an Ascended. Makes me wonder. It is definitely rage.
What are you doing? You're going to get us all killed.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Do you? I actually have a very direct answer to the empathy thing. But I'm going to hold on to it for about 2 minutes. Then I think my point will be much more obvious. By the way, one of the optional objectives is convince her this is a bad idea.
Don't panic, it's just me. We meet again. Stay back! Your ascension is complete.
Oh, hey, it's been 2 minutes.
Out! Now!
I love how Lillian is on it immediately, which isn't just her being competent. She has a lot of very personal experience with this, doesn't she?
She seized your techie's mind without even blinking!
She knows exactly what it's like to have one person be able to mind control someone so quickly and effortlessly.
Still in one piece? Good. This is far from over.
Yeah, I'm a Protestant. I got this. You ready?
I live my life in the shadows.
Yeah, like it or not, the Lich King was extraordinarily good at just being like, heh. Remember when I said I'd let you know when run over our heads? This is it.
not linger.
All right, we lost Yakteki. We can worry about the how of it later. Right now, we need to worry about taking them down before things get worse. I guess we came down here to find out what Zalatath had up her sleeve. Wish we minded our own business.
There is much to be done. Yateki is not themselves. We need to do something.
I can work on that.
I've got your back.
Okay.
You are a worm! She will devour everything! Too late!
Morrison did join the fray. And Lillian gets involved. Thank you, Lillian.
Easy there, Agent. Let's get them away from prying eyes. Figure out our next move.
Yeah, Lillian, I don't think ever personally interacted with a Lich King. I could be wrong about that. Even though she was a direct victim of the first and second Lich Kings, as so many of the Forsaken are.
My blade stays sharp.
Okay, we're out of the public eye for a moment. Getting Yateki back to the Weaver is my priority. Yours is dealing with the weapons.
In all the excitement, I nearly forgot we had a weapons convoy to deal with. There is much to be done.
We don't have the firepower to dismantle their whole operation, but what we do have is 2 leftover vials of anger pheromones. Let's make them count. There's a siege marshal and his quartermaster overseeing the preparations and giving them orders. Logistics types, but they pack a punch. That's where the pheromones come in. Hit them with a vial, make their own armies turn against them. Take them both out, watch the operation crumble.
Keep your guard up.
So we're keeping this operation quiet. At least for now that our cover's blown, we can't really mess things up. They're hauling weapons across the South Bridge. If we turn those weapons against them, they'll have to resupply their whole army. For my time, at least. I've identified 6 weak spots across the convoy. Rig up bombs to all 6. And get out of there and watch the fireworks.
Do not linger. Those bombs should give me enough cover to drag Yateki out of here. Meet me back at the Weaver's lair. We'll figure out what to do with them.
It's very Lillian, too, Kraken-san. Ironically, Lillian is the one smart enough to use someone as strong as we are. I've said for years, every time I criticize WoW, or FF14, for misusing the player character, I hear the same counter-criticism, which is, what, you want us to just win against an army? And well, that's fun every now and again. No, what I want them to use is to use us appropriately. You know what we are? We're a hero unit in Warcraft 3. There's a lot we can do without just being Superman, right? Send us against the biggies. Send us where we need to go. I need to knock out an entire supply chain is the kind of thing you send an entire force to, or, conversely, us. And here we are.
This is against your marching orders. My own army, spineless.
A diddle diddle, and Sarek the fiddle. The Zalatath jumped over the moon. Yeah, the Nephilim are a little bit different, yeah. That's more FF14 levels right there. But yeah, exactly. We're the Astartes. You send us where we can crush things so that the other people can do the rest of their job. Like, it's just using your units properly, right? I mean, for God's sakes, you don't put the giant siege weapons out up front and the cavalry chargers behind. I've been thinking about that, Huthor, but honestly, I don't think it's negative worthy. I think it's more like it's not positive worthy. That should be a big reveal moment, and it isn't. So you'll notice I haven't given it a positive. And I don't plan to. Like you say, it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, she's Nephiros. What? But I would be lying if I said it bothers me past that point.
Traitors! The Queen will hear about this!
I do agree they need to pick a land and if we exist or not.
Our
Yeah, Hulk smash. Yeah, when I first did this and she said, "Oh my god, it's Nephris," my first reaction was, "Yeah, of course it is. We just saw her die." And then we get back and it said first descend to Nephris, and I was like, "Oh!" And that's when I figured out who Nephris was. I'm an idiot, apparently. Probably Italia. Probably. They're pretty vague on how long we've been around because... a raincoat, disco. Because... Also coat of paint. We've actually talked about this before. There's several big potential starter points for characters, for player characters. The three biggest by far are Vanilla, Kata, and Dragonflight. But it's worth noting, depending on allied race, there's several other, onboarding points you can be. From what I've seen, they tend to just assume we've been around since Vanilla, and honestly, that's probably the right way to approach that. Just kind of vague it up. I mean, they've said several times how big and venerated of a hero Horde Owner is. He's done nothing. He did Shadowlands, which doesn't exist, and this, right? I'm kind of with that. It makes a degree of sense to just kind of write this story for the player character rather than the character. Yeah, they just kind of assume you've done stuff. Okay, you're a hero. Cool, moving on. I mean, with the whole warband thing, see, that's what might be kind of interesting, is maybe mention that your warband, maybe even name drop it, specifically, your warband is well-renowned and well-venerated. So it's I know your warband's been around the bunch a bit. Something like that, right? That way your warband gets accredited for everything back to vanilla, and they don't have to specifically credit, say, a Harani, if that becomes playable, or a Nerubian. No, we haven't yet, Spartan. Sorry. I agree, Huthor. I like the current starter experience. It's, in fact, one of the better ones in all of MMOdom. Could be better. So, this is an interesting sequence.
What is it you ask? There is much to be done.
I can hear the explosions from here. That'll buy us time. You might even be relieved if this had gone less poorly. Yateki is secured in the back, where they can't overhear anything. Whatever Zalatath did hasn't worn off yet. The Weaver has people looking into it, but the outlook is grim. He's going to want a status report.
Do not... I told her about Yateki and the convoy. You can tell her about everything we found inside the lab. Good luck.
I've been expecting you.
Your spy master has such a sullen expression. Is her face always like that, or do you have more to report?
Come, Nephris? My queen lives? No. As you describe it, she is but a shell of herself. It would have been better if they just killed her.
You're wrong.
Am I? One monster has sympathy for another.
True death is the end of the story. Anything before that is workable. Let's go, champion. We've got a report to give topside.
I love that line. Can I just say that? And I love how the Weaver, clearly injured, clearly kind of acting out of anger. Oh, one monster has sympathy for another. Like, there was a taunt. That was actually a taunting comment. And Lillian's response is just very, very flat. True death is the end of the story. Anything before that is workable. Ho, 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 ho. I would never recommend someone start with Legion, personally, Spartan. I mean, you know my new recommendation. I recommend people start with Dragonflight. If you're interested from there, go back. But that's my new recommendation. Yeah, Nephros is definitely a weak point of Arachni. I wonder exactly how close they were. Because she clearly cares about Nephros a lot. Like at the level of being a sister, you know? Or lover, or a really close friend. You know. Hang on, I'm going to go to the end just a sec. I want to type up my thoughts there. Oh my god, they were webmates! I mean, honestly, I really do believe Ansarek is probably in the teenager range. At absolute most, she's in her 20s. No, that was it. Gosh, don't stop doubting yourself, Laura. Hi, Amy.
What brings you here?
I miss your pie cart, too. And that's not even a sex joke. Yeah, yeah, she's right here. Or they, excuse me, they are right here. Let me free, let me free. We will all die together in bliss.
We protect you.
That's a good question, Master, and the truthful answer is I don't know. I mean, that plus bad leadership, Kira Whitenoise. Anybody will tell you that superior forces means nothing if you're an idiot, and if you have an idiot at the helm.
Boss. What's down there?
Black blood. They're hauling it up to Hallowthal. And you won't like this. Those ascended Nerubians. Xalatath can stick her fingers right into their minds.
Oh.
They put up a hell of a fight.
Great way to put that.
She uses all too often. We'll have to account for that when we face her again. Thank you, boss. There is much left to do.
At the end of the day, we laid their advance and got some good, actionable intel that we can work towards. Was it worth it? Time will tell.
Stay alert.
High Speaker Bryn sent an urgent message for you. She's eager to assist in the war effort and is investigating a mysterious signal in the Deep Forge Golem Works, a defunct Golem manufacturing facility in the Ringing Deeps. Can you meet her there and provide your expertise?
May your aid. War golems would help even the odds against the Nerubians. Help Bryn secure them, champion.
I do like war golems. I love war golems. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've noticed there's been some very clear parallels between the Windrunner sisters lately. And by lately, I mean circa end of Shadowlands up to War Within. War golems that wield... No, war golems that wield trolleys. Dual-wield trolleys. Like they had a trolley in one hand They're trawling the other. Gain some speed back. There we go.
We've got another incursion, and we need some defenders. I know you're good at this.
Good news. I am bad at this and have other things to do. Yeah, no, I have a feeling, especially since the Vizier goes loud as part of the lead up to the raid, which is the end of the Ashgahed story arc, close to the end of the story arc, that most of the people who have chosen a side have pretty much chosen a side. Like, by the time you get that far in.
Perfect timing. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine.
Hello, ZZ0147. Or Zoe.
You have my focus.
Lordrunner, thank you for coming so quickly. I could use your help once again.
Task resumed.
I tracked a distress signal that led me to this little maintenance machine. Curious find, but the real treasure's the defunct War Golem facility to the southeast. If we can start producing War Golems again, we'll be able to contribute to the war effort. Unfortunately, it's been overrun by a goblin salvage group, and we'll need to investigate and assess if the facility is functional. Fortunately, I have a plan, and it involves your little friend here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Return. ZZ0147 is the last maintenance machine of the Deep Forge Golem Works. Say hello, ZZ.
Hello, Zoe. I will vocalize a series of sounds in an attempt to mimic her greeting. Beep.
Directive.
Now that introductions are out of the way, let's sneak into the facility.
Back to work.
Can I just say I wasn't expecting there to be, like, post-MSQ stuff, but here we are. Yes, that's ZZ's top. It's going to really blow your mind, as that's actually ZZ's nose right there. Zoe should be able to make its way in there without drawing too much attention, but be careful. These goblins are hungry for raw materials. If they spot our bot, they won't show it mercy.
Conversation terminated.
So, you like vehicle sections, right? I will be back. Ah! I will go the wrong way, apparently. Let's try that again. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting there to be this much post-MSQ content. Like, this is still MSQ. This is like the 2.1 stuff, you know, over in FF14. It's like, alright, we beat the big bad. So, time to keep playing. Yeah, it's the max level MSQ, exactly. I don't know why, I just wasn't expecting that. Here we are. Time is money, and your life.
That thing is huge. Our work's cut out for us.
I mean, I could just kill all of these people. Send me in, coach. I got this. Let me off the chain, boss. This dog needs to hunt. The Dark Fuse, huh? Who the hell are the Dark Fuse?
The facility is unpowered, but that war golem in the corner looks intact. We might be able to reactivate it if we can get some time in there uninterrupted.
So you can always tell when something wasn't supposed to be played because it has no jumping animation. I don't remember specifically, but I'm going to go with yes. Just go. I'm not a big fan of loot anyways. So here, take your ring back. It's cool.
We can't build golems without resources from Shadowvane. The site's mostly automated. It was abandoned centuries ago.
This reminds me of the Goomba level in Mario Wonder. Now we need a Metul level in Mega Man, that just occurred to me. We practically look like a Metul anyways. But yeah, sorry, who asked that? Little Billy asked, is there another major patch? Yes, there'll be one more major patch. We know they add content in minor patches. They've already done it with Siren Isle, and there are plans to do it with the next one, too, with the Visions coming back. So, who knows what 11.1.5, 11.1.7 will contain. Oh yeah, we also have the No Hallowfall event.
I attend to the archive.
So we're contending with a lack of power, materials, and a dangerous amount of goblins. If I had pores, they'd be excreting moisture right about now. Is that the proper terminology? I've seen your skin weep moisture before. It is remarkable.
I will ensure your name.
Getting this factory up and running will be a challenge, but I think we'll figure out something. Let's head back to Gundergaz and consult with a friend of ours. His mind will be a big help to us here.
Back to work.
Let's say, have you? First of all, can you see any of my skin? Let's just get that out of the way. Second of all, I'm an earthen. Yeah, exactly, Crockett's son. If anything happens to Zoe here, the Ringing Deeps is dead. Surely you don't mean dead. All those kobolds are dead. That's not true. I would never hurt those poor kobolds. If anything happens to those kobolds, they're all dead. And the earthen. Look, I've got a lot of people to protect, okay? It's basically everybody. Yes, the Ringing Deeps will have a whole lot of ringing, followed by a whole lot of silence. Skitter and Zoe are hanging from a cliff.
Let's get started.
I saved Dagran! Dagran's like, what are you doing? I wasn't even in danger. But you're worth it, Dagran! You're worth it! Sorry. What? What are you talking about? I don't see anything. See? Huthor, are you okay? This is a perfectly normal-looking fox. Don't you see it? Huthor, have you been stressed lately? Here, one of the signs of stress is hallucination. Yeah, you see an FF7? Ah!
I speak for the machines.
Are you ready to put our heads together and come up with a plan?
Return if you have more queries.
We have our work cut out for us. But I think with Dagran's help, we can break this down and tackle it piece by piece. Why don't you take us through what we've learned so far?
Are you ready for a summary of what we know? Time for a quick sit-rep.
So there's a war golem left intact. If it reactivated, it could deal with that goblin in the big mech.
We'll need to get the waterworks operational to power the golem works. Unfortunately, some isolated kobolds are scavenging there. Keep an eye out.
Okay, is there a builder game sale right now? I'm sorry, off topic. I just got an email from Steam like, hey, these games on your wish list are on sale. Look at this list of games. Manor Lords, Aloft, Timberborn, Frostpunk 2, Soviet Republic, Airborne Empire, Pioneers Begonia. All of those are builders. God damn it, not again.
We can't build war golems without materials from Shadowvane. Zizi's arc welder should be able to repair the facility's equipment. What is your query?
We need to secure the waterworks and get the Shadowvane excavation site up and running before we head back to the factory. Let's get to work.
Task resumed.
Getting the waterworks up and running is our first objective. If nothing else we can do matters if we can't get power to the facility. Meet up with Dagran and Zoe once you get there and try to keep them on the sidelines. I don't want to explain to Moira her son was injured, or worse, under my care.
May the deeps continue.
Zizi and I will meet you at the waterworks, champion.
Yeah, Brinth and Dagran are... I never would have expected that's a combo I wanted until I saw it. But here we are. And Skidder is actually a really good introduction to that dynamic as well.
We've got another incursion, and we need some defense.
More Titan tech. It wasn't built to last forever, but it sure came close. I know we can fix this. Oh, I was just thinking.
This place is a mess. I think Zizi and I will stay up here where it's dry.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Overly enthusiastic kobolds, angry elementals, broken down power plant. This place is in shambles. Do you spot those large wheels on the side? They should be moving, but they're not. We need to get through moving again if we want to get this place back to life.
Nothing a little hard work can't fix. We make a good team. You and me and Zizi.
Ahem. Zoe twitches back and forth, sensors scanning unceasingly. They even seem afraid of this area, if they're even capable of feeling fear. Maybe clearing out some of the elementals will set them at ease. I wouldn't ship them. Dagran's too young to be thinking about that. And Brinth probably isn't capable of thinking about that. But I'm not much of a shipper anyways, so I'm the wrong person to ask. Relationships are icky, it's true. ZZ. Oh my god. I love it. Oh gosh. So, okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. Satisfactory and Factorio are kind of the best builder games out there. Now, those are pure builders, but they're really, really good. They're the standard of quality everything else should be weighed against. I can also personally recommend Grounded. I've actually reviewed that.
The hydraulic system is located in an obstruction within the plant. It's in the main drain. You'll have to enter the dam and manually remove the obstruction. Be careful. I suspect you won't be the only one in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't ship Dagran with Brinth for the same reason I wouldn't ship Illyria with Anduin. Subnautica is definitely a builder, 100%. I can also recommend Subnautica, speaking of which. I don't know why I stalled on Anduin's name for so long. Just like, let's see. Other builder games I can vouch for. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of good... no, walk that sentence back. There's a lot of builder games out there. I don't have a lot of time to play them, so I haven't personally interacted with a lot of them. As if that's ever stopped anyone in Kraken's. Come on. But no, for real. The real reason I don't ship that, and I mean this, is their brother-sister. I'm sorry, I know that's a thing for some reason. But, if you'll forgive me for the quote, the only people who ever lust after the idea of being with their brother or sister don't have one. I mean, they are smart, 100%. Other good builder games. So I've actually played Dyson Sphere Program. Notice that game is not out yet, so I hesitate to actually recommend it. But what I played was extremely good. And I want to stress the emphasis there. Like, it wasn't merely good. It might be one in the top 3 category. Oxygen Not Included is more of a management sim than a builder. But it is still a very good game. Despite my own issues with it, I do still think it's top-notch. Let me go and pull this up here. Oh well. There we go. I have played a little bit of Timberborn with my niece, actually. But Timberborn's kind of in another... Like, I can't give a full opinion on it, kind of a deal. Okay, here we go. I obviously recommend Frostpunk. That's fantastic. You know, the whole... Hang on one second. There we go. I honestly recommend looking into Dyson Sphere Builder. It is a very interesting game. Okay, so there's Dyson Sphere Program. There's a few others that caught my attention that I can't 100% speak for. And there's one I'm trying to find. It's about transforming Mars, and I can't seem to remember the damn name of it. Terraforming Mars. Is it Per Astra? No, okay, actually, Surviving Mars is also a great game, but that's not the one I was thinking of. It's another one. It's one I haven't reviewed. I should have it right here. I don't know why I don't see it. Maybe I put it up here? Per Aspera. That's the other one. It's a weird one, but I also have to mention Valheim. Because Valheim is weirdly good for what it is. Several people have asked me how to define Valheim. It's actually very, very simple. Think of Dark Souls mixed with Minecraft, and you kind of have Valheim. I know that's the strangest explanation ever, but it's as close as I could come to. Valheim is definitely a better with friends game. A lot of these are, honestly. In fact, when I was just looking at my list, I actually have it sorted by category, and I have that. I call that category co-op. A couple games I'm eyeballing that aren't out yet include Final Factory, Space Haven, Starmancer, and I guess that's it, actually. There's more. Oh well. There's another one. I don't see it here, so whatever. Oh well. And that's all my recommendations. Now I'm going to stop being off topic and get back to the game. Thank you, Magister. It is nice to see that some people notice the Azurite-themed outfit.
Did you find something? I need some time to think.
Wait, I have to do the delve?
I'll contemplate what we talked about.
Or do I just have to, like, walk into the delve? There was one that was an underground builder, which looked promising, but apparently was completely abandoned, and that makes me sad, because I was actually looking forward to that one. Do I seriously have to do the delve? I do, don't I? Okay, whatever. I'm just going to crank it all the way down to 1. Let's just run through this place. Come on.
Well, spit it out.
Return to Moria, I believe is the one you're thinking of, Talia said. If that's not it, feel free to tell me that I'm stupid, worthless, dumb, ugly, worthless. Gotta emphasize worthless. It's very important. Like, if I died, I don't think anybody would care. Like, all memory and knowledge of me would go away within inside of, like, 3 months, tops. Tectonica, that's the one. Yeah, I was actually excited for Tectonica, but yeah. Sadness. So RimWorld isn't a traditional builder. RimWorld is a management sim, very, very similar to Oxygen Not Included. And it's actually really, really good at what it's there to be, which is an indirect management sim. We actually talked about that when we were playing Oxygen Not Included. You don't really have direct control over people. You can give orders, you can set objectives, and they have their own stuff that they'll do based on their moods and environment and personalities. Yeah, it's a herding cat simulator. It's actually a pretty good way to put that. Now, having said that, I love RimWorld, for what it's worth. Last year, if you remember, I took a brief short dark, and the first thing I did, because I had a lot of work to do in that work dark, but I was so completely overworked that the first thing I did, make fun of me for this if you want, I was just sitting here like this, and I had work to do, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was so mentally destroyed that I could not bring myself to actually start my freaking work. So I just fired up RimWorld and just started playing it. Just playing, like not actually bothering with anything. No goals, no objective, just playing RimWorld. It was a great way to degauze. Which probably says something about me. Not yet, Hoothorn, no. That is actually the last time I played RimWorld, was the time I mentioned about a year ago. That one, there was something specific I had to work on. I'm trying to remember what it was. I know I had to do the audit on a lot of the reviews, which I did. And I wanted to start updating the website, which I still haven't finished. This was before the Streaminations, yeah. This would have been like February or March last year. Can't remember. There was some big off-camera work thing I had to do. It was going to be a long enough project that I just decided to turn it into a dart. Need to respond to Blade's ball, speaking of which.
Get out of the way!
I can't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Point being, RimWorld good. That's all I was trying to say. Meanwhile, Satisfactory is still getting better. Anybody see that 1.1? I honestly didn't think there even would be a 1.1. Satisfactory was in development for a really long time. There's sort of the impression that 1.0 was it. Yet March to April. God, that was longer than it should have been. The hell took me so long? I distinctly remember that I was having issues because something was taking longer than it should. I remember that, and I remember getting burnt out doing it. Yeah, games stuck in early access is a problem for a reason. Have they said anything about console releases, Disco?
Nice find!
God, those fall over in this tier. I guess that makes sense. Maybe it'll come out on the Switch, too. That's true, Maverick. Credit to, I can't remember his name, but the guy who has since quit the team after 1.0 came out. Bald guy. Good community lead. Very good community lead.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
Don't mind me, giant spores. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Or the giant, the tiny mechasaur, excuse me. Nice, Kraken. I have poked at Satisfactory several times, and I've actually made a conscious decision not to do that. Not because I wouldn't enjoy it, and not because I don't want to. I don't have that kind of time. I make things that work, and then we move on. Later on, I like to go through and do an optimization pass. That could be fun. But, nah, I'm good.
I'll give you a hand.
Whoop. Almost forgot. The actual main reason I'm here. This right here. Oh, shoot. Yep, all that to unclog a drain.
Good news.
You won't hit us with that one.
Friend, you're talking over your nephew.
Have you considered a fulfilling role in sanitation? You wouldn't believe what happens in Ironforge during Brewfest.
No, we're done. We're done. That... I almost did that just now, Kraken's-on. Can believe. You know that lava river? Well, there's a reason it stinks so badly. I actually saw a YouTube vid recently, which was, why don't we use volcanoes for trash disposal? I need to go watch that video, because I'm actually curious of the answer myself. I assume it has to do with fumes. Also, that's a grand total of 2 delves, part of the MSQ.
Back in action! With my brains and your brawn, we're bringing this ancient facility back to life.
But I like angering volcano gods. It gives me a good excuse to kill them.
I read about this.
Then drain their power, and then I find another god and piss it off and drain its power. And it's a whole cycle, you know.
Keep your eyes open.
I sent Zizi ahead to the Shadow Vein extraction site. From what they transmitted back, it looks like the area is swarming with rockworms, covered in this discharge. I gave him one upgrade while we were waiting for you. Don't know how effective it'll be, but the results should be shocking.
Oh, I sent Zizi to check on the equipment in Shadow Vein. I'll join you after I finish some maintenance work here.
Wouldn't it burn on top? I mean, the economics make sense. I was more thinking from a fictional perspective. Like, isn't throwing a bunch of trash into the sun a good solution? I don't know. ZZ is ready to help you get Shadow Vein running. Okay, let's do it. What do you... Oh, hello.
Based on ZZ's initial findings, it looks like none of the crushers are receiving power. Check the nearby power substation and see if something's amiss.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Yeah, I was actually wondering the same thing, Spartan. Like, surely we don't generate that much garbage. Like, I don't think our planet is capable of generating that much garbage. But what about an interstellar power? Food for thought. I like to think about things like that. And then occasionally pull back because there is such a thing as too realistic. I still like my spaceship battles, you know? I don't care how unrealistic they are. Actually, yeah, Spartan.
Power isn't reaching the main delivery conduit. Look around in the substation. You may need to reroute the power piping nearby.
Piping? Oh, over here. Oh yeah, this puzzle. I don't know why, but I was stuck here way too long. I think it was just because I had trouble understanding what it wanted from me.
Tatters. The water can't reach the boilers. If those valves are opened in the correct sequence, they should reroute the water to the working line.
Jupiter, now there's an idea. Gas giant. Hey, guys, I just had this great idea to throw trash into the gas giant instead of the sun. But it needs to go... Okay. Is it really Huthor? There we go. Okay. top one, I think. Nope. Okay, so bottom one. Top one. Middle one. And then bottom one. There we go. Now, bottom one? Nope. Damn it. 50-50 chance. Of course I get it wrong. Bottom one, top one, middle one. Bottom one. And then top one. There be whales here.
Power is on, spreading to machines and buildings all over the facility. Let's deal with those Seas Crushers next. Zizi's arc emitter should be able to help with those crushers.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's going to be weird if we ever get to the point where Jupiter has no eye. We must sustain the eye. We must feed sacrifices into the eye to ensure prosperity for future generations. We will make sure for a secure Jupiter. Standardized teaching, Barton. Which, funnily enough, I'm in favor of at a certain level and in a certain application. But the stuff they mandate for standardized teaching is stupid stuff. So, here we are. You know what should be standardized in education? Economics. Like, even bare bones, like, basic-ass economics is the kind of thing kids should probably be taught in school. You're gonna laugh, Ross. Popcorn. ZZ whistles in relief. Seems they're not happy with the subpar maintenance standards here. Their internals begin to hum softly as their projector reaches the appropriate operating temperature. Juicy pear is a good one.
At the north edge of the site. The final array of crushers is in there. Look for a master switch that controls them.
That's true, Monobret. When I say economics, allow me to be fundamentally clear. I mean, here's how you manage your paycheck. Here's how to avoid spending money where you shouldn't. You know? I mean, like... I don't even know what to call it. It's so basic level that I don't have a term for it. You know, how to deal with bills. How to keep track of budgeting. Yeah, like just really, really basic ass stuff that they sure as hell didn't teach me in class. Yeah, life skills. That's exactly what I mean. Standardized teaching should be stuff that is universal. Then we can drift over into things that are more like in the individual's interest. I'm afraid you're extremely wrong, Spartan. Stab. Alright, now that I've killed Spartan... Wait, he had another guy. Shoot! Okay. But no, like, they never teach me. That was never even a class option for me at high school or at grade school level. From a purely personal perspective, all the way back in my senior year, just my senior year, so I lined up my classes across freshman, sophomore, and junior. So I had completed all the requirements to graduate by my junior year. My senior year was then whatever the hell I wanted to do. It didn't matter. It was a complete sweep of electives, so I could just do anything I felt like. Guess which year I learned things in? What the hell is that? Hey, would you eat our garbage? Asking for a friend. Oh, okay, that's fair. Thanks for your time, bye. Now, when we get to high school level, yeah, sure, go ahead and offer classes for macroeconomics, that's fine. But, like, personal finance first, you know? The overwhelming majority of people do not know how to budget their personal lives. They don't know how to spend money, where they should spend money, and what they should spend money on. They fall prey to traps and tricks and irritations, and they get in debt, and then they get more debt, and then they get more debt. And they just sit there in destitution forever. And yes, I know there's plenty of other things other than education getting in the way. But a lot of that is also just straight up ignorance. And to be clear, a lot of people use the word ignorant as an insult. I don't mean it as one at all. It's a neutral statement. Ignorance just means lack of information. They do not know better. It's not their fault.
Well done, Outlander. We're back up and running. Now it's time for a little creative problem solving.
Why would you call me Outlander, Dagon? Do we need to talk about this? There it is. Yeah, I actually did take an accounting class. I think I've mentioned this in high school during my senior year. I did it for fun because I was interested in it. But if you're paying attention to what I just told you, you are processing that that was an elective.
Conversation initiated.
Oh, that's another thing. Cooking class. I took a cooking class. You know what they taught us? This is not a joke. They taught us how to make spaghetti. Now, no offense to anybody who makes spaghetti, but like, spaghetti is one of the most basic-ass things to make. It's practically a 101. It's probably a 102 when it comes to cooking. And it's like, no, I would like to learn cooking. You know how I learned cooking? By doing it. Experimenting and screwing up. That's how I learned cooking, excuse me. Also cookies. I've never made good cookies. I mean, they taste good. A little too flat. Yes, I know it has to do with how much fat is in it and how it changes its shape. Blah, blah, blah. I get it. Yeah.
Return if you have more.
We're back and we're ready. Yes, science. Cooking is science made delicious. You and ZZ head in and cause some mayhem. Blow stuff up, make a mess that'll draw them out of the manufacturing way. I'll use the commotion to sneak inside. Join me when you're able. We should have a chance at reactivating the facility and driving them out. We don't need to defeat all of them. Defeat the Dark Fuse leader. What's these Dark Fuse people? Okay, whatever.
May your cogs hold true.
I'm pretty sure we've just lost a lot of people over the years, Xavion. Remember, the Waloran was a long time ago. I pride myself on my viewer retention, but sometimes people just bow out. Dude, that spiced spaghetti, the actual spiced one, the second one I did, that turned out so good, I still make that every now and again. That's not bragging. Like, I can't take credit for that. I was just screwing around trying something. It just happened to be one of the successes. So I actually still remember, kind of by memory, the whole goal, get some onions, get a little bit of oil, not a lot, and get some red fire peppers, the seeds, you know, that like you'll get in a jar. Put that on the skillet for a while and let it sit there on low heat until the oil has pulled most of the flavor and spice from the seeds, until the whole thing kind of becomes this nice spiced lathe. I don't know what to call it. Then you add in your own pulped up tomatoes or tomato paste, depending on what you're going for. And then you mix that together, and that makes the whole of the sauce really, really flavorful and very, very, like tear-inducingly spicy. But in a good way. And then, you know, you do the noodles. The sauce is the big thing. If you want, you can also cook meat in that before you add the tomato paste. Tomatoes. And yes, we have actually lost people over the years. Which is exactly as awful as it sounds. I actually love cooking, but I usually don't have the time or facility for it.
What was that? You with the... What is that on your face? Oh, get out of my sight and do your job!
I mean, a classic filled donut is a classic filled donut for a reason. You know? Reminds me. I prefer glazed to sugary anyway. Sugary just makes a mess. Leaves a bunch of sugar dust all over the place. Not a fan. Jelly filled, like you never find anymore, but a nice lemon jelly filled. Oh. Yeah, this feels like a bit of a filler, a bit of a breather, and a bit of a lead up to the Goblin chapter, which is fine, but yeah, this is definitely like a weak step, you know? It's kind of like the Rebel quests back in Dragonflight. It's like, yeah, it's not bad. No, Shadowlink doesn't watch my streams anymore. I actually still have people in my Discord who just don't watch stream anymore. Every now and again, and I don't really mean this like I don't know how to phrase it. I don't mean this like I'm an evil person, but every now and again I thought about kicking anybody out of my Discord who doesn't actually watch the freaking show. What are you doing here? Go away. Why are you here? Obviously, I don't do that, but it has occurred to me many times. What are you having for lunch, Kinexco? I would kick Django. I did the only streams he cared about. We're done. It's cool. Oh, nope. None of my actual friends watch me. Are you kidding me? I'm not worth watching. Janine doesn't watch me, to use a specific example. Well, it's something you can boil, mash, or stick in a stew, Huthor. Yeah, Rax doesn't watch me either. That one weirds me out a little bit. Not gonna lie. Valverdrix pokes her head in periodically. That one always weirds me out a little bit too. I don't know why she still watches it. No, Isohe is Javan. Hey, Off the Deep End. I hope you enjoyed and had fun. Not necessarily in that order, but, you know. That's right, FF14 paid $4 for Dawn Trail. Never forget. That was actually a contestant for Meme of the Year last year. It's poor overworked cook. No, that's valid, Huthor. It's the downside of being a variety streamer. People are going to rotate in and out because some people are only interested in some things. It does mean that some specific games tend to be a lot less... tend to have a lot less people present, which always kind of hurts, I'm not going to lie, but I get it. It's also one of the biggest reasons why... That's the joke, Dragonfire. It's one of the biggest reasons why I'm afraid, as stupid as that probably sounds, to finally start actually choosing games to stream, because I can just feel what's going to happen is I'm going to finally pick games that I want to stream and nobody's going to be interested in them. And I'll just have dead streams. I love the look of these golems, by the way. The violet and then gold on top of slate is just a great look. Not that I say that for any particular reason.
You have my focus.
Speaking of which, you're doing a whole WoW series after this WoW series?
May the deeps continue.
Yep, we're doing nothing but Season of Discovery. Then we're doing a full vanilla stream. The whole thing. Hardcore mode. And we're anytime we die, we are going to start over.
Looks like you should have brought some bigger friends.
Really
Yes.
did.
We did. Now, ZZ.
Yeah, we won't finish today. There's an extremely high chance we'll finish tomorrow.
Facility reactivated. War golems are active and back in production.
Correct. Tomorrow is maintenance. I believe it's just a 1-hour maintenance.
I know when we're beaten.
But you know how asterisky that is. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 1-hour stream, or 1-hour maintenance. We'll see.
Directive.
It was touch and go for a bit, but if anyone could seize victory, I know it would be you. Please return to the emissary in Dornagal and communicate our victory. Go with my thanks and the knowledge that the machine speakers are indebted to you. Wow, that's actually an upgrade.
I will ensure your name
rare thing
is
at this
in
point.
the archive.
Yeah, there's a good chance we'll finish the quests today, which will leave the dungeons and one last thing. Would I play Pandaria Classic if I had unlimited time? No. Have I finished LFR? No. You're absolutely right. Because of the Tuesday maintenance in general and the issues we've been having, I've been pushed back probably closer to 2 weeks at this point. That's not even a joke. That's not even an exaggeration. I have lost so much streaming time to the Tuesday maintenance. It is the only thing that's frustrated me about this entire run. That and everything about BC. Yeah, I just have no interest in Classic. At all. I kind of wasn't sure about that sentence. But going back through this run has reaffirmed to me very firmly that I just kind of don't have any interest in anything before Dragonflight anymore. Not really. I'm good, you know? That's not a bad thing. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in a satisfied way, if that makes any sense. Like, I've pretty thoroughly covered everything up to and through Shadowlands at this point. And I've played all of them at least 3 times, except for Shadowlands, which I've only played through twice. I'm good. Now, they ever go back and patch up things, like with the Legion remix, or they ever backport follower dungeons, or if they ever add a roulette system, yeah, I'll do some reruns in order to audit up the review. But otherwise, we did it. I did it. Remixes are different, because Remix, like, Pandaria Remix wasn't Pandaria. That was the whole point. That's what made it interesting.
Don't assume victory.
Amazing news, Horde Runner. The War Golems awaken and march against our enemies once again, just like in times past. Your contributions to the cause of the machine speakers and to all Earthen will not be forgotten.
No, we need to match the raw strength of Ansarek's ascended monstrosities. War Golems give us a way to do that. Well done.
I just had a random thought. I'm sorry, 1 second, please. See you around, Disco. Have fun. Take care. Be good. Be you. Wow, that name is not taken. I'm just going to reserve that really quick. Don't mind me. I don't know where that thought came from. I am shocked that wasn't taken. I remember when I first thought about reserving that name, and I know it was taken, but that was a while ago, before they did the purge, before they did the server merge. Like, that was like circa Pandaria, I want to say.
General, the Harbinger has struck at the Aegis Wall.
She has made the first move. What is she planning?
Anyways, and it's just in the middle of that sentence, I was like, I haven't checked since they redid that. Sorry, yeah, I just reserved the name Forerunner. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the finale, right? Xal'atath's army has been capable of striking at us for a while now. What caused her to choose this moment? Something's wrong here. She waited for us to build an army in response and then attacks openly. We're playing into her hand. Report to the Arathi General. I'll head to the battlefield directly.
Stay to Hallowfall, then. Time to finish this hunt.
I mean, the Tarn are super cool. I'm not sure, Giga. I'm gonna have to think about that. For now, I'm just gonna sit on the name Lore Runner. If they add another playable race or another playable class, well. New class, Lich. Starting zone, Maldraxxus. Alright, never mind. Never mind. That ruined it. That ruined it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pay attention, Lord. Pay attention. I mean, they've actually talked several times about the reason there's no Necromancer class in a game where Necromancers have been around since the first game. Shut up!
Ground units, forward! Airships, open fire! I want to see every ballista loaded and fired within a minute!
I pray for the flame to show us the way. We lose so
The
many.
Harbinger thinks she can catch us off guard, but she's a fool if she expects to win this fight. The Elgari offensive stands at your back. Spare no enemy.
We must rely on outsiders.
Our forces may be able to hold their own, but seeing you in the fray may help their spirits. Take this war horn, let it ring and fill our foes with terror. Once you're done rallying the troops, make your way to the commanders.
The day of darkness changed everything.
Yep, this is the whole crew's here, put simply. My God, it's kind of hard to even vocalize. This is the other reason I don't mind the sequence we just did. It's a clear breather before we do the finale. And yeah, okay. By the way, notice that they pull the same general trick they did back in Legion and in, I think it was BFA, where you get a rotating button over here, which does different powers, and each of them are very powerful. Like Evo, just incredible power. We are actually doing the last of the MSQ for the time being, with the notable exception of the raid, which technically is Prime Opt, but, you know. All the gangs here. Well, this is all the launch content off the deeper end. We're not really covering any of the patch content. It's kind of an asterisk there, but yeah. Don't do it, Umbral Magnus. This game sucks! It's a PS2 game. For babies! WoW is an extremely good, very flawed game. It is probably pound for pound the best MMO out there, overall. It's also worth noting it's barely an MMO. This is more a co-RPG than it is an MMO, which is part of why we've been reviewing it as such. Don't start with WoW Classic. Unless you like that sort of thing, in which case, only play WoW Classic. Yeah, if you want an MMO experience, go play WoW Classic. It's one of the better MMOs out there. If you want a single-player game you can play with friends, go play Retail, and start with Dragonflight. Actually, I do, Ross. Although that barely qualifies as an MMO, even less so than this one does. But yes. think I do too, Maverick. Or I got rid of it in my most recent move. I got rid of a lot of stuff in this most recent move.
Champion, this way.
Hey, Thrall.
Lothar. This is not over.
Dalaran, another home lost to war.
While we've yet to locate Xalatath, we've received ports from deeper in the fields of certain Nerubians giving orders. They won't buy us too much, but every action's critical. Take them out. Hopefully that'll give us some breathing room. Let's talk to Anduin after you're done. He and the Arathi girl went after Ilaria.
Xalatath will face the might of the Alliance.
Yep, Horde and Alliance fighting off the enemy. Like always. So when I think WoW stopped being an MMO and started being a single-player RPG, the definitive line is Kata, 100%. BC shifted away from it. Wrath shifted further away from it, but even Wrath and BC both had solid MMO elements. Kata started really focusing on the single-player experience and really improving certain aspects of game design in ways that kind of contradicted MMO design. Did you die already? It was still kind of gradual from Kata onwards, but Kata was definitely when it stopped being an MMO. Salandria, what are you doing here? Yeah, I know the option's right there. I'm allowed to be overprotective. I've known Salandria since BC. True MMOs have their own market, but there's kind of a problem. MMOs are sort of self-defeating, as weird as that sounds, because the overwhelming majority of people will play an MMO that they are already invested in. Now, new players, that's a different market. So let's just ignore new players for a second. People already interested in playing MMOs or co-RPGs are going to play the ones they're already invested in. They'll drift, they'll move, but at the end of the day, they'll always go back to the one that they are most invested in. So, a lot of MMOs try to recapture the MMO format. You know, the WoW Classic, the EverQuest, the Ultima Online, whatever. And every single one of them has the exact same thing happen. They have a very small player base, and there's a bit of a spike in interest initially, and then it falls off drastically, and then one of two things happens. Either it sits there with its minuscule amount of players, or it dies. I wouldn't try to make a new MMO at this point in history, personally, even if I had infinite money and time.
We need to reach Illyria, quickly!
A lamplighter brings hope.
We will not allow Xalatath to triumph.
Something's very wrong. As the battle continues, each side has become more aggressive. Illyria seems to know something, as she ran off at one point in the battle. We've been giving chase, but I cannot leave these soldiers to die. She's just ahead. We can reconvene together.
I do what I can. Together, we...
Laborious battle cries.
Illyria.
Khadgar?
This isn't the real fight.
The black blood. It's all around us. Tyrallion, I have to go.
What? The battle is about to turn.
We've played right into Zalatath's hands. But I know where she is. And I'm going to stop her.
I'm coming with you.
I know you would. But your place is here. I need you to trust me.
We'll be right with her.
Come back to me.
I always do.
Can I just say, I really like Corellian more than I probably should. It's so easy for him to be a crap character or go down a dark path, and he just kind of keeps being awesome. Oh yeah, by the way, did you catch that was a gameplay cutscene?
I can barely see beyond the airship's flame.
In my heart there is fire. A beacon in the dark.
So...
Zalatath is here. I can sense her. We need to hurry.
But first we must find a way to light our path.
Forgive me for getting emotional, but I've been wanting to talk about this cutscene for 4 months. Or however long since we started. By the way, yeah, you notice the filter there? It's actually a really fascinating filter, the way they're presenting that. It literally is more visible when you're not looking directly at the light. I don't know how the hell they managed that effect, but it's brilliant.
Keep struggling. Let your emotions run. Every moment of defiance charges the air around you and feeds into me.
I think you're right, Uthor. It's a great application of it. It really gives you the atmosphere of what's happening here. This is also the first time we get any kind of real insight into what Zalatath's been after this time. We know she wanted Illyria. That's obvious. But everything else has been mostly just to keep us distracted so she can accomplish whatever she really wants. So she really wants something here.
There. We should be able to purify that flame.
I mean, that is the definition of a feint. Draw your forces over here so I can do what I need to over there without issue. It is also what the Void is best at. Yeah. No, exactly right. The battle at the Black Gate was exactly that. Let that light refill a little bit here. A little faster than this. Yep. We actually ran out of light. Oh no, Zalatath almost wins here, which is part of why this works so well. Fun fact, the very, very, very first thing I ever read in the Lord of the Rings novelization was the chapter when Sauron realizes what's happening in Mordor at Mount Doom. When Frodo puts the ring on, pretty much. It's an amazing moment, and the film does a great job with it, but it's literally the first thing I ever read about Lord of the Rings. Go, 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 go. Ah!
We'll cover you, Farron. Focus on the brazier.
God damn it.
The Priory has a light well in the
Oh, it
middle
worked.
of the courtyard. No doubt it has been tainted.
Courtesy on Earth.
Even the light burns with your rage as you carry candles into a starless night.
It is not rage, but hope that guides the way. Dawn is ever on the horizon, Harbinger.
Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter.
The courtyard is clear. Purify the well.
The darkness has receded. Hurry, to the Priory.
Darkness calls.
Wait. What is that?
All that remains of Queen Neferis.
Good thing we got that intel earlier, huh?
Your world is dying. Breathe deep and accept that you have caused your end.
Interesting. I also love the significance of the crew we have with us. Theron, Anduin, and Illyria.
Monster! May your soul be judged by the flame!
My people shrouded in pain.
Something's wrong.
I got you, Neferis. I got you, calm. The sun's getting real low here. It's okay, Neferis.
No more darkness, pain. No more.
She's fighting against her will.
Zalatath is just ahead. After me!
Go! I'll hold the line! In the very heart of Shadow, I will be the shield that guards the way!
Now that looks familiar.
You mortals are the most wrathful creatures in existence. I've watched you break worlds, overthrow gods. Even the realm of death couldn't hold you. Your hunger for violence is insatiable. You lured us here, unleashed us upon the Nerubians, all to fuel the Black Blood's power. My power.
This stops now.
Your determination delights me. But I have risen from the ashes of countless empires. I have survived ordeals you cannot comprehend. You cannot kill me. I'm not aiming at you.
This changes nothing!
Khadgar! No. I heard your voice. This can't be.
You did well. I knew you would stop her.
Stay with me, Khadgar. Don't let go.
I didn't think that hit me that hard the second time. Holy crap. It's actually, honestly, a bit better this time around. I was expecting to hate it with the turnaround with Khadgar. But actually, no, that lines up basically perfectly. There's so much detail in that scene, it's actually kind of hard to break down. So let me just hammer in the two most obvious things, the things that matter the most. Xalatath has been overplaying her hand this entire expansion. She's been being so obvious and getting away with it because, frankly, she didn't need to be subtle. In fact, at every point, as Illyria has pointed out, she's been playing Illyria herself like a fiddle. So she just kind of keeps overplaying, because why bother at that point, right? As I've pointed out several times, Xalatath is either overconfident or not actually that good, or both. So she just turns around and is just like, and? Like, you got nothing coming. What could you possibly do to me? Yeah, a move is working. Why would I stop a moving? Illyria then finally demonstrates through action an understanding of the theme and arc she's been on the entire expansion, accepting who she is. And remember, Void is best at indirect confrontation. Illyria probably couldn't kill Xalatath right then and there. There's just too much in the way of that. But she didn't actually go for Xalatath. She, sidestepped the problem. Yeah, I'm not aiming at you. I also want to give special mention to the fact that Xalatath noticed immediately, and, no hesitation. Zero hesitation. Just immediately, she's sitting there, taunt. Oh, crap. And immediately goes to hide the thing, but was just a little bit too slow. Crack. With the loss of the Dark Heart, a huge amount of Xalatath's plans have just been derailed. Remember, her getting the Dark Heart was basically the main plot of most of Dragonflight. But then Anduin, this is the other obvious thing. He finally does what his heart has all been about, which is, ironically, accepting who he is. The music, the moment, taking a breath, putting a hand on Khadgar's chest. There's tons of details too. Did you notice that there were these horrible, blackish lines on Khadgar's face that all healed and went away when he was resurrected? Little stuff like that. I'll figure out how many positives that cutscene is later. I'm going to have to chew on that, because that is an extremely good cutscene.
Danger lurks.
Khadgar will need immediate help. We'll have time for celebration later.
Find the path to victory.
The battle is finally over, and I suppose it's time we lick our wounds. Head back to Dornigal. I'll be right there as soon as Khadgar's healthy enough to withstand travel.
May your aim never falter. Fortune smiles on us today. The battle is won, and in victory, we've had a dear friend return to us. Traces of Xalatath's presence linger in the air. In time, she will strike again. But for now, I believe we've all earned some respite.
Oh yeah, one tiny last tidbit. Xalatath gives this whole speech about how we're so violent, and it's said in the intonation and style of, what's wrong with you? This is a bad thing. This is a negative detriment of your species. But it makes sense when you think about how the old gods operate, how they function. Because one of the biggest things they're about is submission. Do you remember that mural we saw back in the City of Threads? All of the Nerubians should be willingly walking into the maw and feeding themselves, right? Even from their general mentality, the creatures of the void, their overwhelming modus operandi across all of WoW, really, is submit, for lack of a better way to put that. Yeah, N'Zoth wanted Rathion to submit. Yogg-Saron wanted the Keepers to submit. Cthulhu wanted, the whole of the continent to submit, etc., etc. And yeah, it's Void. Void is doubt. And the best way to fight that doubt is to just accept it. That's why so many people join the Void. And yeah, black blood is boosted by combat, by violence. And hey, what did the old gods do when they actually reigned in power? They fought each other constantly.
We owe our service to those in need.
Keep your voice down.
To see our old queen in such a state, your discretion and civility in this situation is a boon. We will take her back to Ashkahet and see if any of her former life is retained. If not, we'll deal with it ourselves.
It would have been easy for you to end Queen Neferess's life to secure victory. And yet you spared her. Words cannot capture my gratitude. I will escort my queen home and bring word of your deeds to my conspirators. Return to the surface for now, and know that you will forevermore have allies in Ashkahet.
You're welcome. And yeah, Faerun has a little line here.
When shadow falls...
With the forces of Ashkahet and the Harbinger gone, Hallowfall has a moment to breathe. Beladar is safe, at least from outside threats. Now only shadows are left to contend with the ones... The only shadows we're left to contend with are ones of our own making.
A beacon in the dark.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a tour to do, and I don't actually have a list, I should mention. So, what the Dark Heart actually does, let's rewind a second. Now, Therion built a device which was a prototype for the Dragon Soul. Now, what does the Dragon Soul do? It combines all of the power from multiple things and focuses it to allow you to and conduit a truly insane amount of energy into one thing. It is a truly powerful weapon because, like, a normal person channeling that kind of power would burn them out, right? It would kill them or damage them beyond reckoning. There's actually a whole lot of that. If you see that across Warcraft, when someone channels a whole lot of power, that's bad, right? It's damaging. So he created the Dragon Soul to do that. But his prototype for that, the Dark Heart, kind of approaches the same thing. Pulls all that energy in and converts it into a specific type of energy. In this case, void energy. Now, if you're asking what Xal'atath wants with that much void energy, I have no idea. But it's very clear that she was just draining Beladar of all of the power that was in it and converting all of that into void. And, I mean, Beladar's a pretty big chunk of energy, right? Like, imagine draining a small star. I know, there's no such thing, but you get my point.
Conversation initiated. And so the battle is won. Champion, all of Kaz Algar owes you a tremendous debt. When you first arrived on our shores, we were fractured and divided. But you showed us the path to becoming whole again.
You reignited our drive for purpose and to define the parameters of our own existence.
We see now that traditions can change and evolve, and even be broken, if necessary. The Arathi no longer cower in darkness. We bring the light in our hearts wherever we go.
This council stands stronger than ever before, with new friends and allies by our side. And we have you to thank for it.
Yeah, by the way, Bragwin's right. Obviously this is a retcon, but I almost guarantee you that with the advantage of, current storytelling, the moment Xal'atath got her idea for using the Dark Heart and dealing with whatever she's doing was when she was physically present when we used her to drain the energy of the Sword of Sargeras. No, you're fine, Lenareth. I was... once you said we were spoiling, I was like, wait, where were we spoiling? I kind of missed it. So, it's not perfect, but I did this last time I did this quest here. Do you know what Anduin's facing? You can't see it from here, but he's facing the sword. It's not 1-to-1 because of the nature of this, but if you look at it, it's pretty close. In fact, I believe the actual... like, I did this last time. It's like that right there. Something like that would be the sword.
The light calls.
And I mean, if we're being completely honest, in lore, he probably can see the sword. Like, we can see the sword from freaking Hyjal, for God's sakes.
Fine. It feels good to know we made a difference here. And yet, I can still hear the Radiant song echoing in my heart. Why did it lead us here? Was it solely to confront Xal'atath? Or is there something larger at play? I'm no stranger to feeling like a greater calling awaits. But this is different, somehow. I just hope that we prove ready to answer it.
You found your light again?
Sort of. More like I stopped running from it. Before he died, my father wrote me a letter. He said that I had to fight for peace. I thought that I had to become him because the world still needed him. Because I still needed him. But taking up his sword only led to war and death. I made mistake after mistake. I felt
unworthy. Varian Rin was a fierce, proud warrior. I respected his strength. But you, Anduin, you have your own strength. Greater than any sword.
I'm not my father. But he never expected me to be. That's why he wrote that letter. To remind me who I am. It was his final lesson. And his greatest gift.
And I kind of love how Dornagal's theme just comes up naturally there. Because Thrall's a bro. No, really, that's why. We've talked about that before. Bro characters tend to be legit in any fiction. And weirdly enough, Thrall is consistently the bro of Warcraft. Put my head around here real quick. Shouldn't have had collision, but okay, I'll live with that. Yeah, Metzen is actually a bro in real life, so yeah, that tracks. Oh, hey! Khadgar. In a wheelchair.
Don't worry about me.
In
time.
Be right back. Right back, hang on. One other thing I want to show off first. An arcane wheelchair. Yeah, that's another reason I don't mind Khadgar coming back. Consequences. Khadgar's not fine. Like, by all accounts, Khadgar's actually not doing great at all. He just happens to be alive. It reminds me a little bit of what Lillian said earlier. Death is the end of the story. Anything before that is workable. Hello, Nephris. Her title is the Broken Queen.
Yes?
So, stitch, heal. I was Nephris. I am. And yeah, she's trying to weave the banner. I'm glad you're doing well.
Leave! My queen, forgive me. I should have known your demise was manufactured by Zalatav. Widow! No! No! Do not look! Stay away! Nephris, I have been apart from you for too long. Do not ask me to suffer your absence for another moment. Abomination hurts. Leave me, Naya. Never. After all that has happened, all that we've done, it was worth it to hear you say my name again. You needn't speak, my dear. I am here at your side. I will not leave you. All is as it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the inn in the Weaver's area. That's it. It's the Weaver's Inn. I was actually thinking the same thing. We know a couple people who have been mutated against their will who have had to live with that, and Ariok's on the list. We've even talked with him recently. No, I can hear dinner's almost ready.
It occurs to me that I never got the chance to properly thank you, champion. Were it not for your efforts, Dalaran could have proven to be an even greater tragedy than it was.
We thought we had lost you, Khadgar. How did you survive?
The Dark Heart was created not to destroy, but to capture and harness all manner of power. When I felt what it was doing to me, I transmuted myself into pure arcane energy.
And allowed yourself to be trapped within the Dark Heart.
Yes, until you freed me.
That was a risky move, trusting me to finish the fight against Zalatath.
I knew you would do whatever it took to defeat her, just like all those years ago, when we charged through the dark portal and closed it behind us to save our world. Both then and now, placing my faith in you was never any risk at all. That transmutation spell, however, that was not without consequences. You know, Kerdrin keeps saying I should just ride a griffin around. That seems terribly inconvenient, if you ask me. I much prefer this chair.
Could that be because Archmage Modera designed it for you herself?
Why, Ilaria? Whatever are you implying?
Only that you and Terralion are so very alike. Bold in battle, shy in matters of the heart.
And you are still the same old Ilaria, I see.
That I am, Khadgar. Void or no void.
Priests primarily use staves, Zar. Sometimes they use maces, but it's primarily staves. I thought Ace Combat X was funded, Warpcore. And thank you, Warpcore. Actually, yeah, Izmir Star, you're right. Which is funny to think about. The only one missing is, nobody, I suppose. Well, I guess Uther. And Lothar, he's dead. City Skylines, Assault Combat, Assault Horizon, FTL, FTL. Thank you. Yeah, I guess you're right. The Sons of Lothar. Hang on a second. Now you got me thinking. I was just looking at this the other day, too. Here we go. Lothar, Uther, Torellian, Ilaria, Daneth, Khadgar, Kurtram. So yeah, the only two hero units from Warcraft 2 missing are Lothar and Uther. But yes, all of the Sons of Lothar are here. God, all their old portraits look terrible. On the Horde side, we have Grom, he's dead. Kargath, pretty sure he's dead. Zul'jin, he's dead. Cho'Gall, he's dead. Dentarg, he's gone. Gul'dan is very dead. Terran's dead, and Deathwing's dead. So, yeah. This one. Deathwing was an orc demonic horde unit back in Warcraft 2 because none of that was written yet. Simple way to phrase that. Yeah, the Horde had the dragon units, so Deathwing was the hero dragon unit. Yeah, Warcraft 2 may have started Warcraft, functionally the first Warcraft game, but it was still a pretty, you know, early installment weirdness. Well, there's also been a lot of passing the torch recently, which I'm sure you've noticed. So having the Warcraft 2 squad, the Sons of Lothar, well, you get where I'm going with that. Believe it or not, we actually still have a surprisingly decent amount of stuff to do. But we're not going to finish that today. That's going to be tomorrow's purview. I still haven't decided how much, if anything, of these quests we'll do now. These 3 quests. I haven't done any of those. That's all new to me. All of that. But at the very least, we need to finish off the dungeons. Very belatedly. I'm never doing that again. We also need to finish off the raid. And then I have to do a lot of paperwork to come up with our numbers. Out of curiosity, which one of these is the Kirin Tor quest of these 3? I'm assuming it's Khadgar's, but okay. I'll think about it. But for now, I'm gonna chop off. I'll see you tomorrow after the maintenance.